Hey guys, Alan here from StretchSense. In this video we are going to go over our custom 7-pose retargeting workflow in Unreal Engine 5. So we've developed a new way of retargeting designed to ensure that all finger and hand animation is aesthetically plausible. This workflow is for people using characters based off the Unreal Engine 5 or MetaHuman skeleton where bone length adjustments have been made to the skeleton, meaning that the skeleton may be a little different in size from the default skeleton. Let's begin.
The first thing we want to do is to make sure that we have all the necessary plugins installed and enabled. To do that, I'll just come over here to Edit, Plugins, and at the search bar here, I'll just type in LiveLink. As you can see here, we have the Hand Engine LiveLink, and LiveLink Control Rig plugin. So just a note, I am using the Unreal plugin for Hand Engine Pro and Lite version 1.1.1. Just make sure to have these three enabled, and once you do that, just go ahead and close this window. It may ask you to restart, so go ahead and restart if needed. Next, we want to create a blueprint class for our character, so go ahead and create that wherever is most convenient. Just right click, blueprint class, and actor. And here we will just rename this to our character name. In this case, I will be naming it My Manny. Now open this up, and at the top left here, we want to click on add, and just search for skeletal mesh. Once that has been added, I will just rename this to target skeletal mesh. Now on the right side here under the mesh tab, this is where I will be selecting either the MetaHuman or Unreal Engine 5 skeletal mesh. Once selected, we can go ahead and compile and save. Next, we will just open up our skeletal mesh, and if we scroll down, we want to find the post-process animation blueprint, which is located under the skeletal mesh tab. And here we just want to search for the live mirror pose, and then depending on what character you're using, it will be either Manny, Quinn, or MetaHuman. So what this does is that it mirrors the left hand onto the right hand, meaning that when we create these hand poses on our left hand, we will get the exact same pose in our right hand, but mirrored. This means that we will only need to create poses for one hand, making it super helpful for saving time. Now save this and close this window. I will now show you how to do this with MetaHumans, but the process is exactly the same. So what we want to do is find our MetaHuman skeletal mesh. We can do this by finding our MetaHuman blueprint and opening that. And just over here, we will select body. And on the right side, we can easily navigate to the skeletal mesh by clicking on the search button. And here we have the skeletal mesh. Or you can just navigate through your folder directory, which should look something like this. Now let's open this up. And again, just scroll down until we find the post-process animation blueprint section. Now just click on the drop down and look for the live mirror pose. So here we have either MHFE for female or MHMA for male. And just select the appropriate one for your MetaHuman. And now just go ahead and save this out. I will now be going back to the Unreal Engine 5 mannequin, but again the process from here on out will be exactly the same for MetaHumans. After setting up the live mirror pose, the next thing we want to do is create a pose asset for your character. To do this, at the top here, just click on Create Asset, Create Pose Asset, and then Current Pose. Now here, we will just name it to something appropriate. For example, your character name and then Pose Asset. And now just hit OK. Once you do, you may see that at the bottom here there is a yellow bar saying that the post-process animation blueprint live mirror pose is running, which is what we want. The next thing we want to check is up here in the top left in the Asset Details tab, and just over here under the Additive section, make sure that the Additive box is unchecked. If it is checked, there should be a Convert to Full pose on the far right here, so just click on that and you should be good. Once that has been all checked, we are ready to create our hand poses. We will just go back to the skeleton tree and start from here. So what you will see here is if I rotate my left arm, you will see that the right arm is being mirrored and doing the exact same action. So what I will do here now is I will set up my viewport in a way where I have a clear view from different angles, making it easier for me to set up my hand poses. Once that's done, because we are just focusing on their hands, I will just adjust my character's arms, rotating them out and straight forward, making it easier for me to see. So once we have something like this, we can go ahead and start creating our poses. So the poses that we will need to be creating will be pedal, pedal L splayed, reach, pedal thumb curl splayed, and fist. So 7 poses in total. The first pose to create is pedal. So for this pose, we want the fingers straight and parallel to each other, the thumb tip straight and parallel to the fingers, the thumb base joints curled so that the thumb aligns with the side of the palm. Once we have something we're happy with, we can go ahead and create this pose. To do this, just go on the top left here, create pose asset, and then insert pose. Here we will just search for our pose asset. In this case, my one is called My Mani Pose Asset. And now as you can see, our new pose will appear down here, and we will just name this to something appropriate. Once done, we want to reset our bone transformations, so to do this, just select on one of the joints and press Ctrl A, right click, reset selected bone transformations. Next, we can just go ahead and delete our initial pose as we have no need for it. The next pose we want to create is the pedal L. So for this pose, we can just keep our fingers as they are from pedal, and we will just adjust our thumb. Just keep the thumb straight and rotate it out as far and as natural looking as possible. Once we have something we're happy with, we'll just go ahead and create this pose asset for the pedal L. And again, just rename it to something appropriate. Now, as you can see, if I change the weight between the two hand poses, the hand doesn't look quite right. But to fix this, all we need to do is to just reset the bone transformations again. So every time we create a new pose, we will just have to go ahead and reset the transformations. The next pose we want to create is the pedal L splayed pose. Again, we are keeping the fingers as they are and just adjusting our thumb. So what we want to do for this is we want to rotate the base thumb joint out away from the palm as far as possible. Once we have something we're happy with, we'll just go ahead and create the pose asset for this pose. And again, once created, we will just go ahead and reset the bone transformations. And as you can see, as I toggle between the poses, my character will snap to the pose that I have selected. This will be useful for the next poses that we will be creating. Next, we have the reach pose. So for this pose, it will be easy for us if we start from the pedal L pose. So I will just toggle onto this one, and we can start from here. For this pose, we want all the fingers straight and with maximal splay. And we can just keep the thumb as it is. And once we have something we're happy with, we'll just go ahead and create the pose asset, rename the pose, and reset all the bones. Next up, we have the pedal thumb curl pose. So for this pose, we can start from either pedal or pedal L. And what we want to do here is have all thumb joints maximally curled and the thumb on the surface of the palm. Also, we want to keep the fingers straight and parallel to each other. Once done, just go ahead and save this pose asset, rename it, and reset all the bone joints. Right, next pose is the pedal thumb curl splayed. So this pose should be real quick and easy. We just need to start from the pedal thumb curl pose, which we are already in. And so what we need to do is just rotate the base of the thumb out from the palm and keep the fingers in the same position. For our last pose, we have fist. For this pose, we want to start from pedal and have all the finger joints maximally curled, the thumb base joints curled so that the thumb aligns with the side of the palm, plus the maximum rotation of the plane of the palm by the base of the thumb, plus maximum curl of the thumb tip. One thing to look out for when creating this pose is clipping from the fingertips into your palm. So just make sure that when you do curl the fingers, they do not go into the palm, and make any necessary adjustments to prevent this. And again, just with this last pose, just remember to create your pose asset, rename your pose, and reset your bone transformations. And with that, all 7 poses are now created. The next step, we just want to open up our blueprint class that we created for our character. And here on the top left, we'll just select the target skeleton. And on the right side here, just make sure that the animation mode is use animation blueprint. And for the animation class, we just want to search for hand engine rig example, and depending on if you're using either the MetaHuman or Unreal Engine rig, we can choose either Manny, Quinn, or MetaHuman. In this case, I will be choosing Manny. Once selected, we'll just go ahead and compile and save. Once saved, we will just quickly navigate to our rig example by pressing this button here, and once that comes up, just open up the example blueprint. Once open, we will just navigate to the hand pose references by coming down here on the bottom left. And now on the right side in the details pane, we just want to scroll down a little bit. And here in the hand pose references, we just want to assign the custom hand pose asset that we had just created. Once that has been selected, we'll just head over here to the class defaults. And now over here, you can see that we have a list of pose names. So what we need to make sure of is that the names that we have given our custom poses matches the ones here so that it can be defined. Once that's done, just compile and save. With that set up, your character is now ready. Just make sure that you have hand engine running, your gloves connected and calibrated, and here in the live link window we have the hand engine live link added and receiving data. Once that is all done, you can now see that the hands are now working as they should. So just a note, if your left hand is driving both the hands of your character, what we need to do is just navigate back to our skeletal mesh asset. And down here in the post-process animation blueprint where we have the live mirroring function, we just want to revert this back to the default. And once that is done, you can see that your left and right hand will be driving both hands separately.
So this covers our 7 pose retargeting process. With this workflow, you'll be able to get hands on your characters looking just the way you want it every time, no matter how big or small your characters may be. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our support team, or you can reach us directly through our Discord channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.